The Black Death was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, and its impact on England during the mid-14th century was particularly severe. This plague, which swept through Europe from 1347 to 1351, is estimated to have killed 30 to 60% of England's population, drastically altering the social, economic, and political landscape of the country. Origins and spread. The Black Death, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, likely arrived in England in 1348 via merchant ships docking in southern ports like Weymouth. From there, the disease rapidly spread across the country. It was transmitted primarily through fleas that infested black rats, but it could also be spread through human contact, especially in its pneumonic form. The pandemic ravaged both rural and urban areas, with major cities such as London and Bristol being particularly hard hit due to their dense populations and unsanitary conditions. Social and economic consequences. The sheer scale of death led to a dramatic labor shortage in England. With so many peasants and workers dying, the survivors found themselves in higher demand. Wages rose, and the feudal system, which had bound peasants to the land, began to weaken. Many laborers demanded better working conditions, and some even moved to other areas to find better pay, which was previously restricted by feudal laws. This sudden shift in the labor market also caused a decline in the agricultural economy, as fewer people were available to work the land. Landowners were forced to offer more favorable terms to workers, leading to a gradual erosion of serfdom. However, attempts by the ruling elite to control wages and prices, such as the Statute of Laborers in 1351, created resentment and unrest. This tension contributed to events like the Peasants Revolt of 1381, which was partially fueled by the long-term effects of the Black Death. Cultural and psychological impact. The Black Death left a deep cultural scar on English society. The omnipresence of death led to an increased preoccupation with mortality, which was reflected in art and literature of the time. Religious institutions, which had failed to stop the plague, faced criticism, and there was a rise in mysticism, superstition, and extreme forms of piety. The church itself lost many clergy members, further diminishing its influence in some areas. Changes in society. As England's population slowly recovered over the following decades, the country experienced profound changes. The weakening of the feudal system and the rise of a more mobile workforce contributed to the eventual emergence of a more modern economic structure. This period also saw the beginnings of greater social mobility, as peasants gained more bargaining power and some were able to acquire land, something that had been nearly impossible before the plague. Conclusion. The Black Death profoundly shaped England's history, both in the immediate aftermath and in the centuries that followed. It marked the beginning of the end of the medieval world, ushering in economic changes that laid the groundwork for the transformations of the Renaissance and beyond. The memory of the Black Death remained a powerful symbol of the fragility of human life and the unpredictability of fate.